Hello, I'm Brian Fox. Welcome to I Hate Rock Music. And I did a couple videos recently about particular concerts that were just really impressive. And the lineups just were dream lineups. And one of them was on the fact that Badfinger and Big Star actually shared a stage at Cambridge, Massachusetts, 1974. And then I featured another concert that was a dream lineup of early heavy rock, Black Sabbath, Sir Lord Baltimore, and Dust all playing at the Rock Pile in 1971. And I'm going to do one more, at least for now. And UK lineups are always impressive. When I go through back issues of Melody Maker and I look at some of the lineups for some of these festivals, and just three or four bands that play together in all the clubs in the UK in the late 60s and early 70s, it's just mind blowing. And I think the quality of late 60s, early 70s bands in the UK was just a little top notch, few notches higher than what you see in the United States. And so to find these incredible lineups in postings for shows in the United States are not nearly as impressive as what you see in the UK. And the show I'm going to talk about today is a prime example of that at Queensway Hall in Dunstable, Wednesday, August 13th, 1969. And one of the reasons why it resonates with me is because I think that the four bands that played are personal favorites and very unusual bands and just legendary bands, and all four on the same bill. And that's the Edgar Broughton Band, the Groundhogs, High Tide, and Sweet Slag, all on one bill. And I looked at the lineup for the Queensway Hall in Dunstable, and there was a lot of notable shows listed there for the couple weeks surrounding this concert, including adding bands like Pato to the lineup, another band that just I personally love, and I think are one of the giants of rock history, although they remain somewhat obscure. But to think about Edgar Broughton Band, the Groundhogs, and High Tide, Sweet Slag all playing on one night, I could have died. I could have seen the show and died, and died a happy man after seeing these four extremely unusual bands put together, particularly in the late summer of 1969. Of course, by that time, Edgar Broughton Band had at least the first album out. The Groundhogs had their first album, and probably Blues Obituary was out in 1969. High Tide, of course, had their debut album out in 1969. And that's kind of a little early for Sweet Slag. I don't think their album was out by then, but just incredible. I mean, I can't say enough about these four bands. Just groundbreaking, unique, individual, startling, particularly for 1969. And to have all four of those bands play together on the same stage is just mind numbing. How many times can I say it? Incredible, incredible. Those four bands shared a stage, and I know from my friends in the UK, it wasn't unusual to see incredible lineups like this playing little clubs. And so for that, I'm very envious of my British friends that got to go out and see shows like this. There isn't anything quite comparable in the U.S. And I don't want to sell short a lot of the great U.S. bands of the late 60s and early 70s. And certainly there's lineups that played places like the Rock Pile and places like the Fillmore West and the Fillmore East that are pretty impressive. But there's something special about all those early bands in the UK from the late 60s and early 70s, and these four bands epitomize that. So, man, God bless you all, my British friends that were out in the clubs seeing shows like this. And this one was particularly monumental for me. And boy, wouldn't it be great to have a tape of that whole show? Not a chance. I'm Brian Fox. Thanks for watching I Hate Rock Music.